everyone, my name is Alfred from SIFT Analytics Group, and I'm the account manager. Here we have Scott, our analytics consultant, joining me to share with you one of our use cases that might be potentially useful on how you can automate your business processes in the insurance industry. Well, one day we received a request from a renowned insurance company who was searching for an automation solution for their IFRS 17 processes. The problem the company was facing is spending too much time preparing their data manually. Our team evaluated the framework and proposed a solution to redesign it using Alteryx, an analytics software capable of making automation come true. Later, Scott can explain in detail of the overarching automation concept and show us how it looks like at the back end. Now, I'll give you a quick introduction of SIFT Analytics Group. So SIFT Analytics Group, we are located, headquartered in Singapore, and we've been in the business analytics space for the past 24 years as a leading provider of enterprise software solutions since 1999. We are very honored to be recognized in recent years as one of the top 10 analytics provider in ASEAN, conducted over more than 30 analytics events in the past 1 to 2 years. So what exactly do we do at SIFT? Well, at SIFT, we make data faster, clearer, and sharper. So faster businesses and organizations can expect faster insights with seamless data integration. The unification of systems and data can save time, improve efficiency while reducing errors for more accurate insights. Clearer enterprise visualizations and dashboards can help turn data into clearer and more compelling business information for business decision making. And sharper, advanced analytics or advanced predictive analytics and automation ability to help unlock future insights for sharper view of the future, for more accurate planning, lower risk, and uncovering more new business opportunities. I'll give you a quick introduction or overview of the use case that Scott will be presenting. This is a IFRS 17 transition component. So it is an international financial reporting standard that aims to replace IFRS 4. In this project, we managed to enrich the cash flows data extraction from the source system with IFRS 17 parameters. We help to consolidate and aggregate the cash flows required for calculation. We help to consolidate data into specific structure as required. We established control points for future audit requirements, monitor issues, and advise corrective actions. And finally, we outline and output the data fields that are required to be extracted from the policy and bids systems for each business areas. Now I'll hand over to Scott to walk you through the demo. Over to you, Scott. Thank you.
Thanks, Alfred. Hello, everyone. Let me just introduce myself first. So I'm Scott. I'm one of the business analytics consultants here at SIFT. And I'm here today to share about Alteryx. Let me just start sharing my screen. So yeah, I'm here to share about Alteryx. So let me just give you guys a quick introduction of Alteryx. So Alteryx creates workflows. So these workflows are built using tools or building blocks. They call it building blocks. So the nodes right here, you see, are those building blocks. So a workflow would always start with an input or any data source that you have. Alteryx can connect to it. And then to the right, we move on to the next step and so on until we achieve our output. Okay. So now let me walk through you guys on this project. So this is a snippet of the project that we did. So the first task that we need to do here is that we need to tap in or access our cash flow data. So this comes from different data sources. Then next step is that we need to consolidate it and then perform some aggregations and pretty much combine it into a single source or single flow. Okay. So it all started here. So in this example, I'm just going to show you guys an Excel file and a CSV file as input examples. But of course, if it's either on-prem or on cloud, Alteryx is pretty much powerful enough to handle this and equipped to do these kinds of tasks. But in this example, let me just show you here that I have 12 Excel files and then 80 CSV files. Okay, so it's just reading in the files and then changing the file type or the field names here in this step right here. So each tool, if you notice, each tool has a specific task that it does. So it's not very confusing, not like coding in SQL, right? It might get confusing, but with the help of Alteryx, it's step by step and it's very user-friendly because you just need to drag and drop tools here above, right? And just simply connect like that. Okay, so going back to this flow, right? So now you see here that it's very clear that I have a flow here, and then another flow here, right? I'm just blending the data all together using a union tool. So it's just, I'm trying to just append the data, okay? And then from here, I'm performing a VLOOKUP. For those Excel users out there, a VLOOKUP function using a join tool, okay? Now you see the output is a single sort, a single flow already. So now we have 239 records, okay? So that is the first step in this, the first chunk in this process, right? So from here, it's very important as well for our client to have a control point, which is part of their audit requirements. So that means to track, in this example, files that weren't read properly. Is there any issues when it comes to those files from the beginning, right? So we monitor those steps and then output a report. So how we did it in Alteryx is that comparing in versus out, right? So a very simple logic that we did here is that same as with VLOOKUP that we mentioned earlier. So we're just comparing apples to apples when it comes to file name. If you look here on the left, okay. So from here we would just define. Well, first of all, we need to count the files first and then compare the file names. Then from here, everything that did not match or anything that did not pass through correctly will be defined as unprocessed files. So if you notice here below, right, this is the results window. So every time you run a workflow, by clicking this, the run button, you will see the results here at this window right here below. So you see here, it says that I encountered one error. And that error came from a message tool here that we created on purpose. So this gives the user warning every time it encounters an error. So this is a very intuitive way of telling the developer or whoever manages this that, hey, we have error reports that we found, and it's an unprocessed input file. Okay, so aside from this, right? So not everyone would have access to this workflow, right? Ideally, you would have people that would fix the problem. That is where the output of an error report comes in. So we built this to give an actual file, an Excel file here, a list of Excel files or a list of files that needs to be fixed. So in this example, if I look here, these are the 3 files, which is actually the same as the warning message, and output into a file location. Okay, so I'll move on to the next step. So this is the final step that we did in this process, is to actually outline and output a data with specific field required for the PAS system. Okay, so in this flow, you see, we just continued our flow from here, right? We connect to this chunk of steps. What we did here is just cleaning up the data. So removing all the unwanted null values and then creation of the fields. So these are custom fields already. So what we did is drop those fields that we don't need and finally aggregating our data. So every time I click on a tool, right, I would see the before and after. So this is also very helpful for whoever is creating this, that I can see before and after in each of the steps. Okay, so from 200 records would be 3 records because it's aggregated. Okay, so the final output that we're expecting is something that looks like this. So I have 3 different funds, right, and the amount of the dollar amount that is calculated. Okay, and the rest would be just the custom fields, the binary fields that the system is required to read. Now the familiar output tool. So output tool, this writes an RPT file. If you guys aren't familiar with RPT file, so this is just another form of a text file that the system, the PAS system requires. So Alteryx is capable of writing different sort of outputs. Okay, so to conclude, with the help of Alteryx, what we did is we managed to automate the process, save time from potentially working weeks into just hours, and avoiding errors. So once a workflow is done, right, you don't need to touch it, and thus helps us to prevent human intervention errors, right? So anytime you have errors, we manage to put reports that the users can access and then just act accordingly to fix those errors. Okay. Yeah, from there, I'll pass back to Alfred.
Thank you, Scott, for the detailed explanation. So like what Scott shared, I hope the quick demo helps you to understand the transformation of the manual from the manual processes to automation. And if you have any areas you want to improve or automate, please let us know. We'll be happy to have a discussion with you and have a plan, a clear digital roadmap or transformation within your company to help you with your processes. So thank you so much for your time. Please reach out to us. Bye-bye.